A young nurse stood shivering at a nearly empty bus stop, her thin coat doing little to protect her from the bitter winter wind as daylight slowly faded beneath thick gray clouds. Cars sped past without slowing, and exhausted tears rolled down her face after she quietly realized she didn't even have enough money for the next bus home. Just as she prepared to begin the long walk, a sleek black luxury sedan stopped beside her. The driver stepped out, looked directly into her frightened eyes, and calmly said, "You're coming with me." What happened next would transform both of their lives forever. Before we begin this emotional journey, if you believe kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances still exist in this world, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, and subscribe to our channel so our family and our community can continue growing through stories that remind us compassion can change lives. The young nurse was named Claire Rowan. At 28, she worked double shifts at a community hospital, caring for patients who often had no one else beside them. Her smile comforted frightened children, her gentle voice calmed anxious families, and her patience inspired everyone around her. Yet behind that warm smile was a woman carrying burdens few people ever noticed. After losing her father several years earlier and becoming the primary caregiver for her chronically ill mother, every paycheck disappeared almost as quickly as she earned it. Rent, medications, groceries, and hospital bills left little behind. Still, Claire never complained because helping others had always given her purpose. The man who stepped from the luxury sedan was Everett Sinclair, a self-made millionaire and CEO of one of the country's fastest-growing medical technology companies. Although magazines admired his business success, very few people knew the loneliness hidden behind his polished image. Years of chasing success had cost him friendships, family gatherings, and the chance to build a meaningful personal life. That afternoon he had been leaving a nearby meeting when he noticed the exhausted nurse standing alone in the cold, still wearing hospital scrubs beneath her coat. Something about her quiet determination reminded him of his own late mother, who had spent decades working as a nurse before passing away. Without overthinking, he offered her a ride. Claire hesitated. Every warning about accepting rides from strangers raced through her mind. But Everett immediately introduced himself, showed his company identification, and explained that he only wanted to make sure she reached somewhere warm safely. His calm voice and respectful distance slowly eased her fear. During the drive, they spoke about ordinary things. Claire described funny moments with young patients and the joy of seeing someone finally recover after weeks of treatment. Everett admitted he had spent years designing medical technology but rarely spoke with the nurses who actually cared for people every day. By the time they reached Claire's apartment building, he had learned more about healthcare in 30 minutes than he had during countless executive meetings. When Everett saw the aging apartment complex, cracked stairways, and broken windows, he realized how difficult Claire's life truly was. She thanked him sincerely before disappearing inside without asking for anything. That simple act stayed with him. The next morning, Everett quietly visited the hospital as part of a routine technology inspection. Staff members praised Claire's kindness without realizing she had met the company's CEO only one day earlier. Doctors described her as someone who volunteered for difficult shifts, comforted grieving families, and never left work until every patient was settled. Yet they also mentioned she had recently declined a promotion because she couldn't afford additional childcare for her younger sister, whom she had been raising since their mother's health worsened. Everett was deeply moved. He realized that while companies often celebrated profits and innovation, people like Claire quietly carried the healthcare system through compassion and sacrifice. Instead of making a public announcement, Everett created a new employee support foundation through his company. The program provided emergency financial assistance, scholarships, mental health counseling, transportation support, and family care grants for hardworking nurses facing personal hardships. Claire became one of the first recipients, though she had no idea Everett personally recommended her application. When she learned her family's medical debts had been covered through the foundation, she broke into tears. For the first time in years, she could breathe without wondering which bill would remain unpaid. Weeks later, Everett visited the hospital again, not as a billionaire executive but as someone genuinely interested in listening. Claire thanked him for the ride that had unknowingly become the turning point in her life. Everett confessed that helping her had changed him as well. For years he believed leadership meant making difficult financial decisions from behind a polished desk. Claire had shown him that true leadership meant seeing the struggles others carried silently and using success to lift them instead of simply measuring quarterly profits. Inspired by her example, Everett expanded the foundation nationwide, helping thousands of nurses receive financial assistance, educational opportunities, and emotional support. Hospitals that once struggled to retain dedicated staff suddenly found hope through programs built on compassion rather than publicity. Claire continued working as a nurse because caring for patients remained her greatest calling. She never sought fame or recognition. Every grateful smile from a recovering patient reminded her why she had chosen this profession. As the seasons changed, Everett and Claire developed a friendship rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and quiet acts of kindness. Their different worlds no longer seemed so far apart because both understood that genuine wealth was measured not by bank accounts but by lives touched with love. Before this story comes to its heartfelt conclusion, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a meaningful comment telling us whether you believe one unexpected act of kindness can completely change someone's future. On another bright afternoon, Everett drove past the same bus stop where everything had begun. This time it stood empty beneath warm sunshine, but the memory remained clear. A single decision to stop for someone in need had transformed not only Claire's life but his own heart as well. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. Remember, the greatest miracles often begin with one person choosing not to drive past another human being in need. Sometimes the smallest act of compassion becomes the first chapter of a life forever changed.